Hello traders around the world, welcome back to another video. Today is the second part of the psychology video that I did last week, and I'm just going to continue doing this every week. So I will the idea is to help struggling traders. Okay, if you've watched my YouTube, and that's the whole purpose of my YouTube. Let's bring back YouTube and see what my YouTube is all about, or my YouTube channel. Okay, the idea is to help new traders and struggling traders who are willing to learn. Okay, that's my goal. That's what I want to do. I want to help those struggling, and one of the main aspects of why people struggle is the psychology side of trading. At least I battle with it. It's not all of it. I mean, it's not all gone, but I've got to a level where I can control my mindset facing the market. And I got these 3 boxes here. That's my national flag: red, yellow, green. Okay, but it's the other way around with a star. So I'm a star. Yay! Right. Okay. So I've got these 3 boxes in here. Over the last 6, actually March 15th, next week, no, tomorrow will be exactly 5 years that I did my very first course with OTA, Online Trading Academy. Okay, tomorrow is exactly 5 years, but I got into the market in November 2014. That's when I was introduced to it, and I started trading binary options. I started trading binary options because it was the buzzword around, and everybody was doing it. I thought it was good. I put some money in there, and it vanished. Okay, so November was when I got introduced, and then between November and December, January, I did more research, and I find OTA, and I went for 1-day seminar, a 3 days course, and then the 1 week the actual trading course. And that actual trading course was this 2015. Let's go back in time. Yeah, right there. That week, I spent that entire week traveling from home to the center, spending at least 8 hours there from Monday to Friday. And on Friday, I got my certificate to say I am a professional forex trader. I still have it. I still have it there, and it's funny looking back. After a week course, I became a professional trader, and after 3 years from then, I was still struggling. How could I have been a professional trader after a week and struggle for 3-4 years? Doesn't make sense, does it? Well, there you go. That brings me back to these boxes. I drew these 3 boxes to indicate the 3 types of traders we have. And when I say 3 types of traders, I'm not talking about swing trading, position trading, day trading, scalping. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about where's my favorite tool here? I'm talking about these guys, okay, are consistently profitable. These guys, they make money, they lose it. These guys, they always losing money. Those are the three types of traders I want to talk about today. And I want to change your perspective on where you are and where you should be. At least we should all be here, or everyone should be here. But by the time I finish, you understand why not everyone can be here. Alright? So, who are these traders? Who are these traders and who are these traders? Over the last 5-6 years that I've studied the market, or 5.5, I've studied the market, or I've been in the market, there's one thing that keeps being consistent about those that are in this category. Okay? And there's one thing that are consistent about those that are in this category, and then one thing about consistent about those that are in this category. That's why these people keep winning, these people keep going through the cycle, and these people keep losing. Alright? So let's get into it. Who are these? These guys are the lazy ones. Okay? When I say lazy, I don't mean the ones that are just sitting down doing nothing, expecting money to fall in the account. No, these are the lazy ones that they just see a system. Okay, they see something online and they jump into it. Okay, so these guys are the indicator traders. They see something online and they see past or history data attached to the indicator, and they can see that it was profitable, so they put the indicator on and then they try it and then they lose money, and then they go into the next one and then they lose money, they go into the next one and then they lose money. So they keep losing money because they are not willing to do anything. They just want to jump from one system to the other, trying to figure out that one of them will be the holy grail, and they will just start making money just like that. Okay? So these traders are the lazy ones, I call them. Now, these guys are the smart but not smart. These guys are good. Okay, they only need a change in mindset. They are good because they are not doing what these guys are doing. Why is that? Because these guys are learning from here. When you understand these people, these guys are learning from them. So because they are learning from them, they can make profit, because these guys are profitable. They can make profit, but because they are not them, they will get to a point where they will fall over. Okay, so every now and then they will fall over. They will make money and then they will lose it. They will make money and then they will lose it. They will make money and then they will lose it. Now these guys are the ones that everybody should. This is where everyone should be, because these traders, they go through a lot. Usually they come from, it's like a progression. They start from here and then they go here and then they finally get here, right? So by the time they get there, it's obvious they're going to be profitable because they've seen what they've seen what is it like to be in here. Okay, so now they've changed everything that they do when they were here, and they're doing something very different now they are there. Okay, so then they become very profitable. Now I'm going to give you examples, and once I give you the examples, you are going to be clear on why you should be here. Let me put their hands in there and give them an eye. Let me draw this dude properly. Let me draw this dude properly, because he needs to be sad. When you're in here, you need to be really sad. There you go. That's a sad face. Come on, draw it. Right, okay. So I call these guys the system creators. Okay? They create systems. They spend hours and hours and hours looking at the chart. They spend days, months, years looking at the chart. Okay? It's not easy to be in this category. Why? Because the things you have to go through to be in here is sometimes can be very, very painful. Okay, it can be very painful, but it's worth it. Why is it worth it? Because at the end of the day, you come out on top. And I'll make an analogy as someone or a mother. Okay, as let's take these three as, or this type of traders as ladies. Okay, ladies that would like to give birth. Okay, they want to have babies. Okay, now these traders are like mothers that really want to have babies, and then initially they struggle to have babies, and then all of a sudden they conceive, and when they conceive they have to go through all the 9 months pain, and then after 9 months they give birth, and even after the birth they kind of go through a lot of struggle with the baby, because the baby will not sleep at night. The baby will cry all the time, but they will go through all that pain, and then by the time the baby is like 5 years old, they will start having joy. Why? Because the baby will be adorable. Everybody will be looking at the baby, and will be like, oh, that's a cute baby. You understand? If you have a child, you understand what I mean. So they go through all that pain to have their baby, and their baby is their system. Okay, spend hours, days, weeks, months, years, or year could be, okay, creating a system. Once you do create a system, okay, or strategy, if you're confusing, if you're confused with the system, as a strategy. Once you're able to create a strategy or come up with a system, you know inside out of the system, because you created it. You have, it's like you, let's say Apple was Steve Jobs. Okay, he started Apple, and there's no one that knows more about Apple than him. Maybe now there will be someone, but initially when Apple first came out, no one knew anything about Apple apart from him, because he designed it, he created it, he's the founder, he created everything. So when you have that, it will be very, very hard not to be profitable. Okay, when you have a system, when you create it yourself, it'll be very, very hard not to be profitable. It will take something dramatic, something drastic for you not to be profitable. But I've not seen anyone in this category that is not profitable. And I'll take my own mentor as an example, ICT. Okay, he is very profitable, and even if he's not profitable trading, the fact that he's teaching about thousands of it's about 3, 4, 5,000 people should say something to you. Okay, I pay attention to those things. It's not about what you're learning, it's about the person. You need to understand, know the person. So I've learned and studied him personally, and I've listened to his story, and it's exactly like I'm telling you now. The pain he went through, the struggles he went through. Sometimes when you listen, recently he made a video, and I could feel his pain. He was people were trying to copyright his material. Okay, and when he was talking about it, I could feel his pain, the pain in his speech. It's like the way he's gone through the pain, the hardship to come up with a system, and to see people abusing it. It hurts. It hurts him. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. These traders will always be profitable. Another example of this kind of traders is Alonso from Set and Forget. Okay, from Set and Forget. If you don't know, let me show you. Okay, this guy. It's one guy. He's called Alfonso, something like that. He's Spanish. He came up with not supply and demand, but he created some rules that guides you to trade supply and demand, and he's got a community. Okay, if it's not even profitable, he's got a community of thousands of people paying him to learn. He's in here. Okay, he's in here. There's this other guy. The school I went, where I learned my trading, OTA, some Sidon. He started OTA, or he came up with the OTA supply and demand. Okay, he's in here. He's made fortune. Okay, I paid like 9,000 to learn forex. Other people are paying like 50,000, 40,000 to learn stocks and futures and other stuff. Okay, he's in here. Okay, when you're in here, you don't have to even trade, because you've created something that works in the market. People will be willing, and I'll jump onto these guys. People will be willing to pay to come and learn. People will be willing to pay to come and learn. Yeah. So what I'm driving at is these traders will always be profitable, so we should all aspire to be in there. Now let's jump onto these guys. These guys are learning from here. Now you can tell. Okay. Now the reason why these guys are going through cycles, they make money, they lose money, they make some, they lose more, they make more, they lose even more, and they make it back. They are in a cycle. It's because they are learning from these guys. Now, I'm not saying that they cannot be profitable, because these guys, the system that they come up with is good. But because you, Mr. Trader in here, didn't come up with that system, you will run into problems. Okay, because again, analogy is adoption. Okay, if you're a mother and you don't want to go through the pain, and you want to have a baby, you go for adoption. Okay, when you go for adoption, it's totally different from having your own baby. Yeah, you can pretend it's your baby, but it's not. It's not your DNA, so it's not. Okay, so what's going to happen here is that people are going to struggle because they didn't create a system, and it takes hard work. You need to work harder than the guy in here. Why? Because you're trying to trade a system that was created by someone. So you need to be doing harder than someone in here. There will be some traders in here that can be profitable, okay, only if they align themselves, or they change their mindset in terms of not worrying too much about trades and let probability do their job for them. So these guys can be profitable if they trade with the mindset that, okay, this is not my system. I can see patterns that are forming in the market. I can see the trades that he talks about. So I'll let money management, risk management do the job for me. So I'll trade with a probability mindset where I'll not worry too much. And if only a few people come out doing that from this group. So you can be profitable in this group, okay, but you have to have a different mindset. You have to have a completely different mindset to be able to be profitable. You have to like I said, trade with a probability mindset, come up with rules that will prevent you from your equity going that way to your equity going from that way to this way. Okay, it's a mindset that you need to grow. These guys, they will come past the mindset. They are the system itself, so they will be something like this. Not in terms of trading, but in terms of equity. They will always have money. Yeah, they will always have money. You be going through this. So you have to come up with your own probabilities. You have to trade with a probability mindset and create rules that will prevent your equity from going that way to being smooth, and you will be profitable because you're learning from here. But it takes hard work before you start smiling. Initially you are like that, okay? You take hard work before you start smiling, and then your equity curves will change. And then finally we have the lazy ones. This person, the analogy that I did initially, this lady wants to have a child, but they don't want to go and adopt, and they don't want to give birth. So how are you going to have a child? I have no idea. Okay, you want to be jumping from someone's baby to someone's baby, cuddling one's baby to another, and then let's say this guy will come and cuddle this lady will come and cuddle this lady's baby, and for about 1 hour, and then they'll take their baby back and they'll start crying, and then they'll go here, cuddle this lady's baby, and after 2 hours they'll come and take their baby back and they'll start crying. That's what these guys are going through. They go for one indicator, one system, it doesn't work, they start crying. They go for another indicator, another system, it doesn't work, they start crying. These guys will eventually at some point either become this, or they will not trade at all. Okay, because when you go through so much losses, it's either you make or you break. Okay, you will be going through a lot of pain, emotional, psychological. You will be losing a lot, and if you happen to jump from here to here, that's even worse, because after all the pain you went through, you thought now finally you find someone you're learning from, Okay, you find someone you're learning from, and still it's not working for you. Yeah, you find someone you're learning from. Let's say this is Mr. Joe. Mr. Joe tried indicators, it doesn't work, and then someone will advise them. I mean, before they will be advised, they will go through a lot and they will lose a fortune. And then someone will advise them, hey, look at Mr. ICT. I'm using ICT because he's my mentor. Look at Mr. ICT, he's a very good trader. You need to learn from him. And then you start smiling, finally I'm gonna make money. And you jump in here. And when you jump in here, because of the mindset you had in here, you're gonna struggle. And when you're in here, you're learning from Mr. ICT, things are not going well. Your face is like that. You can see things are happening, but it's like a cycle. It goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. You will feel more pain than someone who started here. Okay? You feel more pain. Why? Because you've already lost a fortune. And in here, it's like when things are going well, it drops. When things are going well, it drops. When things are going well, it drops. You can lose your mind in here. When you start from here and come here, you can lose your mind. Fortunately, I started from here. Okay, I didn't start from here, so I'm good. Okay, and I am here, almost here. I'm in the process because I've spent countless of hours and hours looking at the chart, and from what I've learned from here, I'm adding my own to it so that I can be in here as well. Yeah, I started here, learned from someone in there, but from what I've learned and from what I've discovered on the chart, okay, I'm trying to be in here. So I'm in a transition program. I'm in a transition from here to there. Okay, so to summarize, you should be aspiring to be a mother who wants to have their own baby. That's when you will see things change drastically. There's nothing wrong with being here, okay? Because at the end of the day, all it has to take is a change in mindset and trade with probabilities, and things should change for you. So you can be in here, trade head and shoulder patterns, you can trade with ICT, you can trade with supply and demand. There's no one way to trade the market. Okay, there's no one way. You can trade with RSI crossover, you can trade with MACD crossover. All you have to do is trade with probabilities, with a probability mindset. Okay, with a risk to reward at least 2 to 1. If you trade with a risk to reward 2 to 1 and trade just RSI, let's say RSI divergence, okay, 2 to 1 on a daily time frame. There you go, one system created for you. You're trading with a 2 to 1 RSI divergence on the daily. So what does that mean? It means that anytime you see a divergence on the daily time frame using your RSI, okay, let's say in here this makes a lower low, your divergence makes a high high, you go in with a risk to reward 2 to 1, and then you let the trade do what it needs to do. You don't worry if you take a loss, no problem. You go to another pair, it gives you the same thing, and you do the same thing. At the end of the day, if you take 10 trades and you make even 3, okay, if you take 10 trades and you win 3 of them, that's 6. Yeah, 2 2 2, that's 6. And if you lose 7 of them, yeah, sorry, if you win 3 and you lose 7, you only be down 1. Okay, if you lose 6 and you win 4, that's 8. You're up 2. Okay, so you see that it doesn't take a lot to be profitable. So when you're in here, you can be profitable, but you have to trade with a probability mindset. Okay, don't worry about your losses. Have trust your what you're trading, and let probability take care of itself, or let the trades take care of itself. Okay, but don't stop there. Aspire to be in here. Create something. Spend the time. Do the work. Put in the hours. Look at the chart, because there are things on the chart that repeat itself consistently, that you can actually come up with your own strategy, come up with your own system, and you'll be in here. People from here will be paying you to learn from you, and you don't even have to trade, because your equity is like, these guys are filling your pocket. Wherever you trade, you spend time trading. If you want to trade, that's fine, but you don't have to. You can trade because you created it, but you don't have to, because they'll be paying you to teach them to trade. So most of your hours will be just teaching, and that's what I am aspiring to be. So I'm in a transition. Okay, hopefully this helps, and it should give you an indication where you are, and find out where you are, and then know what you have to do. Okay, I will come up with more of this to continue to help others to be successful traders. Okay, so let me know in the comment section if you like it, and share it to your other traders so that they will know what to do. Wherever they find themselves, they will know exactly what to do. Okay, thank you, and be safe and stay blessed.